Hey everyone, welcome to our second session of All About Public Health, and this is the finals edition. So we're going to be answering all questions regarding finals, stress, healthy eating, all of that. So first, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Zilla Raval. I'm a graduate assistant for Mason Recreation for Wellbeing.
My name is Veronica Hayes, and I am the campus dietitian with Mason Dining.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nora Lamary, the Health and Wellbeing Coordinator at Student Health Services.
All right, so I'm going to go into the first question for Veronica here. So what exactly are brain foods and what are some examples of them?
So, brain foods are the foods that are going to help improve your cognition and mental agility, as well as increasing that blood flow and oxygen to the brain. So, some examples of brain foods are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Yes, I named all three food groups. You need all three food groups. Primarily, carbohydrates is one that you really need to incorporate the most frequently, especially during stressful study times, because your brain's preferred fuel source is carbohydrates. So eat your potatoes and eat your bread.
All right, Veronica. So what are some healthy snack ideas for when I'm up late studying?
So I really like to encourage people to find healthier options that are crunchy and salty, because that's usually what we're craving late at night and when we're stressed. So some lightly buttered and salted popcorn is always a good go-to. You could do sliced apples with peanut butter. That way you have some fruit and fiber mixed in with some proteins and fats from the peanut butter. Similarly, you could do hummus with crackers or vegetables. Also, dark chocolate, which is about 70% or greater cocoa, has some brain benefits as well. So maybe having some trail mix and dark chocolate in
All right, so what about some easy meal ideas? Something when I'm too busy studying, what's something I could make real quick, even if it's in the dorm or an apartment, anything like that?
So one of my go-tos for quick and easy meals, if you have access to a full kitchen, is our sheet pan meals. So these are meals that you can just do a quick search for on Pinterest or on Google, and you can just chop up some chicken, some veggies, throw it on a sheet tray with some olive oil and throw it in the oven for 15, 20 minutes, and then you have a full meal right there. Another great option would be like making tuna salad sandwiches or chicken salad sandwiches. You could also make a frittata, which is like an omelet, but something that you would put in the oven. If you're in the dorm, you could do an omelet in a mug, and that it would just be scrambled eggs with your vegetable of choice or meat of choice or cheese of choice in that mug and throw it in the microwave. Also, overnight oats are always a great option because you can make that balance with those carbohydrates that your brain needs, some protein, whether that's from protein powder or yogurt, and then throwing in some like peanut butter or sunflower seeds or something like that to make it a well-rounded, balanced meal.
All right, bottom line, are energy drinks good or bad for you?
So if we are consuming energy drinks, multiple energy drinks, most days of the week, most weeks of the year, then we might need to lay off on it a little bit. But if it's something that you're consuming around finals time or when you have a lot going on, so it's maybe a few weeks out of the year, then having a few energy drinks here and there is not going to be the worst thing. I know I'll say this about anything, whether it's cupcakes, fried chicken, energy drinks, we can have everything in moderation.
So I read somewhere that for every cup of coffee consumed, you should drink 2 cups of water to rehydrate. Is that true?
So that's not entirely true, but it's also not entirely false. Yes, coffee can be a diuretic and therefore can dehydrate you some, but it does have water in it as well. So you are rehydrating some in some capacity too. So to say 2 cups per cup of coffee, it's kind of arbitrary. Definitely be drinking water. I always say start with half your body weight in ounces and then just increase from there. But the absolute minimum should be half your body weight in ounces. And most people really just don't drink enough water. So being really conscious of how much water you're drinking is going to be really important for your overall health, but also for your ability to focus and complete your tasks at hand for those finals.
Are there any benefits to consuming Gatorade and other electrolyte drinks on a regular basis?
So unless you are an elite athlete or collegiate athlete, there really isn't any reason to be consuming electrolytes on a regular basis. If you are someone who is going to the gym, you're sweating a lot, maybe you're training for a marathon, maybe you are a basketball player or football player, soccer player, maybe it's time to think about adding in an electrolyte drink or Gatorade after practicing or playing for greater than about 90 minutes or so. But other than that, there's really no benefits to the average person. But if you're someone who enjoys the flavors of these things, of these drinks, there isn't, again, it's okay to consume them in moderation. What I will say is just be mindful of the added sugars that can be found in these drinks. And then if you are going to have them, just make sure that you're also having equal amounts of water and don't make it your sole hydration throughout the day.
All right, Nora, so this one's for you. Do you have any tips for balancing personal and academic responsibilities?
So I'd say during periods of high stress in your academic life, like finals, it's important to communicate with those who you cohabitate with. So maybe your roommates, family members, friends, and let them know what's on your plate. Let them know what responsibilities are coming up, what your commitments are, and what you are able to contribute to your shared space and how, what responsibilities you can follow through with and what's required of your time. So certainly communicating is the number one way to set and maintain boundaries between your personal and academic lives. I would also set aside the time for your personal responsibilities as well as your studying time for finals. So make sure you schedule that time so you know that you have that dedicated protective time to complete your responsibilities for each aspect of your life.
So Nora, how do you recommend we communicate burnout to our professors?
There's a high likelihood that your professors may also be experiencing burnout themselves. So they might be more understanding than you might think. They also don't know what they don't know. So if you're experiencing burnout, it is imperative that you communicate your needs and your limits to your professor. If you think that you cannot turn in an assignment on time or you need some flexibility or an extension, it's important that you communicate that to your professor. I also recommend that you come to your professor with a plan. So not only expressing that you're burnt out or tired or overwhelmed with the workload, but also coming up with a list of needs that you need from the class and how you need flexibility and what that would exactly look like. Zil, how much sleep should we be aiming for? And realistically, how little sleep do we need to function?
So 6 is technically the minimum, but if you're doing that for a long time, if you're doing it for weeks and weeks, then it's going to cause more serious health conditions. It could lead to things like sleep deprivation, and that can lead to more chronic illnesses. So the recommended amount is about 7 to 9 hours per night.